Now we bring in Senator Marsha Blackburn from Tennessee. Senator Blackburn, thank you on a Friday. Your reaction to Mr. Biden's speech last night, ma'am?
It was weak. It did not lay out a solid path forward on how we were going to deal with Hamas, Hezbollah, the Houthis, and all of these terrorist groups that, as you have said, Larry, they are funded by Iran. And right now, because the Biden administration has not pushed on re-implementing the oil sanctions, Iran is making about $1 billion a week. They're spending this on nuclear warheads, uranium enrichment, and, of course, funding terrorism, which they do. They're the world's largest state sponsor of terrorism. So if you're going to address this problem, if you're going to go after the terrorist organizations, you have to cut the funding. And one point that you mentioned that I think is so very important, under President Trump, when he got us out of the first Iran nuclear deal, and when he toughened up on implementing the sanctions, Iran was producing only a few hundred barrels of oil. They really weren't able to sell that. Now they're 3 million barrels, and as you said, they're partners in the axis of evil, Russia, China, North Korea. They're the ones who are the primary purchasers of this oil.
Senator Blackburn, how is this $100 billion plus funding request, how's it going to fare in the Senate with the bulk of it, 60% of it going to Ukraine? It's an odd story, isn't it? The president comes back from Israel. We've got this declared shooting war, Hamas trying to run Israel off the face of the earth. And half the speech is about Ukraine, and 60% of the money goes to Ukraine. Senator, how's this going to fare in the Senate?
I don't think it's going to fare very well in the Senate. I'm not certain they'll get 60 votes to move to cloture. These are separate issues. They should be considered separately. And when it comes to border funding, of course, we need that. We don't need money going to big blue cities. When we need to have a discussion about transparency and the pipeline of supplies going into Ukraine. China needs to be halted in the way they are bullying and pushing at Taiwan. That's a separate issue. And, of course, getting Israel what they need in order to defend themselves is vitally important. That should be the first thing on our list, and it should be handled separately from the other issues that the president is wanting to push forward. And, you know, Larry, in addition to this, you've got the fact that he's trying to continue aid into Gaza. Even last week, Hamas was caught stealing money, food, fuel, medical supplies that were supposedly going into Gaza for humanitarian aid. We don't need to be doing this until we're certain that it is not a bunch of supplies that are going to Hamas. They're intercepting these deliveries.
Yeah, you know, I've suggested the Israeli Defense Forces are the ones that take care of all that aid. I don't think my suggestion is going to be taken in the White House, but I'd let the IDF do it. Then somebody might, then some Palestinians might even be helped by it.
That's right.
All right, Senator.
You're right, and you want to make, yes.
I mean, no, it's okay, ma'am. I didn't mean to interrupt, but I'm just saying, you know, trucks coming over from Egypt and so forth. The way it's set up now, it all goes through Hamas. Hamas runs the ministries, Hamas runs the water, Hamas runs the media, Hamas runs everything. Right. Of course they do. Of course they do. How could the White House not know that? Of course they do. I mean, it's the silliest fiction in the world, for heaven's sake. Senator Blackburn, thank you for your time.
Well, this is, yes.
No, we appreciate it.
Good to be with you.
We appreciate it.